Olay, hello.
Hello,
How are
EJ.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Super excited to talk to you. Tell me all the things. What's happening with you?
Well, I recently just moved into a new apartment, so I've been getting my life in order, getting a
Nice.
thousand Amazon purchases, on the way, so that I can little by little get this house into a home.
Isn't that I don't know why, but moving into a new place or just moving in general is just so stressful.
It is literally, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It is exhausting to say the least.
How'd you get through it?
My mother came in
Of
town,
course. Of
bless her
course.
heart.
Yeah.
She's the best, my hero of life. She came in and helped me clean up and mop the floors and get my decor on. She cooked for me. What more could you ask for?
I know your mom, some home cook. Are you from LA?
I am from Georgia, born and raised, but my parents are Guyanese.
Oh, nice.
So I had to get some good Caribbean because LA, they haven't really figured out the Caribbean food thing yet. So I needed some good culture.
Let me tell you, if this was New York, like you already know.
I lived in New York for 6 years
Yeah.
before I moved to LA. So exactly. There's lots of Caribbean people there and they know how to do. I lived in Queens and
So I'm from
it,
Jersey, so like a lot of Caribbean people that are there too. But like, if you want some like good Caribbean food, you got to go to the tri-state. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So what's a day in life for you? Like, what's a normal day for you?
A normal day is me waking up and having my tea or coffee. I like to work out early in the mornings because that's when I feel the most energetic. So I usually wake up around like 5 or 6 and work out for an hour. Various places. Sometimes I do Pilates. Sometimes I like do a hike. It just really depends on how I feel that day. What else do I do? I end up cleaning up at some point for like an hour a day. It's boring, but like there's always something to clean, right? Outside of that, I model most of the time. So if I have a shoot, I usually end up there around like 8 o'clock, pretty much the entire day, if that's what is on my itinerary for that day. And in the evenings, I just come home, I cook. And if I have some studio sessions, I usually go to that more in the nighttime. I prefer to do it in the daytime, but I feel like the industry just likes to work in the wee hours of the night. So that's when I end up going.
You know what it is? I feel like I don't know why, but I get hella creative at night, and it's the weirdest thing because I feel like a lot of people I interview, they do their albums in the night, they move around at night, which is interesting because I feel like LA is a city that closes super early.
Yeah. I think it's the piece, or maybe it's just the day that you've had, and then like all the creative things kind of like come to you when you're a bit more still. Because in the daytime, you're just like popping up, emails, texts, everybody's awake calling you, and it's just like a lot of confusion going on. So
Mhm.
I feel most creative in general when I'm still and I'm peaceful and in a quiet setting, usually alone. Unless I'm obviously intentionally like meeting up with people to be creative, then of course. But as far as my own ideas and perspectives coming like outside of me, that usually happens when I'm in a private space, and those things kind of like, I don't know, they just appear. But I feel like it's because of lack of distraction.
Have you ever been in a bed and then all of a sudden got super creative, like on your way to sleep, and all of a sudden you get idea after idea after idea after idea?
Absolutely. Or when I'm on the plane and
Yeah.
I'm just like, my head is in the clouds, I'm just like, wait a minute, that was a great idea, or that was a great lyric. Let me put that in my notes. Like it's the most, that's what I'm saying. It's a peaceful time when you're relaxed and you just let things flow, it just comes to you.
What's interesting is how I always say to myself, I'm laying down, I'm fall asleep. And it's like, you know what? I'll think about it in the morning. I will, remember it in the morning. 9 times out of 10, do not
Don't
remember it. It's like a
don't
show
put it.
topic that I want to do. And I'm like, you know what? I will remember it in the morning. I don't want to pick up my phone and write it down. And then when I wake up in the morning, it's gone.
Listen, if I don't tell you anything else, write that thing down as soon as it
Yeah.
comes to you, because you're not, I've done that so many times and it's always the best ideas, and you're like, you're hype, but like not hype enough to take out your phone when you spend 20 hours on your phone anyways a day. Why not do it when you have an
But
actual good idea?
but you know what it is? I think it's because I don't want to pick up the phone. And once the light hits me, because there's no TV in my bedroom. So it's like dark.
Same.
And once I pick up the phone, it's gonna like throw my whole sleep pattern off.
That's true. The phone does wake you up. You gotta have some settings on your phone, maybe. You might need to have like a do not disturb after a certain
Yeah,
hour,
yeah.
so that you're not hit with like the rest of the world to wake you up. And then they have the night light mode and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, will make
You
you a
know
little
what? I just thought about something. Maybe having a journal next to your bed and actually sitting down and writing it out.
that works as well. I feel that requires more energy, in my opinion. I feel like you're gonna absolutely wake up if you guys be like, oh, where's my pen? And let me like if you just have your phone, even half asleep, like it's in our nature to have our phone in our hands anyways. I could just be like, even if I think of a hum or a chorus or melody or something, you can't put that on paper. I mean, for me personally, your ideas you might be better for writing down. But for me, when it comes to like songs and stuff, that usually happens where I have to verbally get it out, and that can only happen with my phone. So yeah.
How excited are you for flowers?
I am very excited. I have thought about this idea for quite some time, and it's very important for me to excuse the dogs in the hallway. It's very important for me to allow myself the space to thank people without it being compared to what I'm doing or whatever it is. Like people were telling me, oh, nobody cares about these other people. We need to talk about you. It's your new journey. And they want to hear what your sound is and that, da, da, da. I just was like, yeah, I get that. And even within me celebrating these women, it's not taking away from the path that I'm going down. It's simply thanking them for inspiring me to be able to go down this path and get to this point of creativity and just excitement to be able to share my gifts with the world.
It's almost like giving these women their flowers.
Literally, that is what it is. Because if I didn't see them, I couldn't have fathomed the thought of being able to do it or even being interested in doing it. Like these are people I've been watching since I was growing up in Georgia, going to the skating rink, going to dance classes. Like I've been since TV existed. Like this is what my influence came from. This is who I study. This is who I YouTube, and I've watched all their concerts and all their everything. So it's not taking anything from me to let someone else shine. Like, and like I'm confident in myself and my abilities to know like this is the people who made me want to do this. So why not thank them before I even go down the journey for myself? I wanted to like let these people know whether they hear it or don't hear it. It's like my intention has been put out into the world, and I just want to thank them. That is all.
It's all about intent. I feel like everything has an intention. And when
It
people can
absolutely,
feel that great intention, you know what I'm saying? Like all the goodness will come to you.
absolutely, absolutely. You let someone else shine. It doesn't take anything away from you. Just lighting candles. We're all lighting candles, and we need that. And I feel like as a Black woman in general in the industry, we're brought. I come from the modeling industry. It's the same in the modeling industry as it is in the music industry. We're like pitted against each other and
Mm-hmm.
comparing this person to someone who's next to you or 15 years past you, and it's like, why does that even matter? We don't act the same way when it comes to men. We don't compare and pin people next to each other. So it's like I want to get out of that mental space and just like be allowed to celebrate other women without it taking anything from me.
You know what it is? What's meant for you will be for you. What's meant for the other person will be for the other person. I tell people
And
that
be
all the
confident
time.
in that. Yeah, it's only
Correct.
one of you. No one has lived your life. No one has had your experiences. Nobody's in your head. Like your truth is literally only yours. Like own that thing.
So how did you get started with modeling?
I started modeling, I want to say in Georgia, but not professionally until I moved to New York in 2013. So it's
Mm-hmm.
been 10 years of professional modeling. And I've traveled a bit. I've lived in Cape Town for several months and worked
You
there.
did?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places on earth. It's so beautiful.
Everybody always says that.
It's stunning. You have to go. You have to go.
I'm just like taking it in.
Yes, Cape Town is gorgeous. The food is bomb. The I love going places and being able to see different landscapes. And they have like the big beautiful Table Mountain and then the beach and like these caves and stuff and the penguins. Like there's just so much to see and so much to do. It's so beautiful. I highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
How long is that flight?
Ooh, how is that? Was that like 22 hours? Was it that long? It was. I was living in New York at the time, so it wasn't quite as long from LA. So really,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think it's really interesting because you see like all of this stuff on Instagram and also Facebook when they talk about Africa and how it's just not the safari. Like South Africa. Like it's literally big cities, like big bustling cities that look like
Mhm.
any city in the US. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely have to travel a bit to get to the safaris, but that's a thing to do as well. You just gotta go a little ways. But that's where I've spent some time modeling. I've traveled to London a bit, and thinking about going to Germany. I went there for a little bit last year. And yeah, it's been a journey for sure. But I moved to LA to be able to do modeling and do music, and I also have an accessory clothing brand. So I moved to LA to be able to do like all of those things and kind of like juggle them.
Tell me about the clothing brand.
I started the clothing brand actually when I was in a girl group for a couple of years based in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I started as a means to have some extra income while I was, touring and getting my life in order with the music. And of course, I had no idea that it was going to like take all the money I had to be able to start this business. But I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with seeing people wear my things, and the confidence that they got in doing so. So I really fell in love with it. And then in 2020, I was just selling accessories in
Mm-hmm.
2016 when I started it. And then in 2020, I expanded into women's wear. So I've been selling women's wear since then and accessories. And yeah, we're killing
You know
it.
what? Absolutely. You know what's a humbling experience, or what I think would be a humbling experience, when someone is spending their hard-earned money on something that you provided them, like a clothing, your music, whatever. Like that has to feel good when that happens.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you're doing it for. It's literally like it's I like it and that's cool, but really to like share things that I've created or thought about and like seeing them come to life is one thing. That's very exciting. And then being able to see other people appreciate it enough to spend their hard-earned money on it and walk around with it and be like, oh yeah, I got this from you. You like my ears? I got this. Like without being paid, they're just doing it because they genuinely love the item. And that is, yeah, repost. Heart, double tap. We love it.
Love that. Love that. What's next for you?
Music, modeling, and me and Neek. Those are my three M's, my brand, my modeling, and my music. I'm still recording. I'm working on my EP right now. And yeah, I'm working with different writers in LA, different producers, traveling to Atlanta back and forth. Um, and yeah, I'm really in my creative bag right now. I'm just trying to create as much as I can, whether it comes to my accessories, whether it comes to, me modeling. Sometimes I do collabs with other creatives in the industry if we just want to do like a shoot to create some stuff and get some ideas out. I'm always doing that in LA. And yeah, that's about it.
What is the most trying thing about putting together an EP?
Finding a team. Um, I think the pandemic made it made it kind of a slower process than I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I moved to LA at the very tail end of 2019 with the intention to be like, oh, I'm doing music now. Blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, as soon as I set foot, the world shut down. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, girl, we can't really, I'm trying to see you. Everything was like via phone call. And
Yeah.
so that kind of put a wrench in it. But I'm really just trying to spread my wings and let it be known that I'm even doing music, because I feel like most of my content, if not all of my content, is really like modeling based or Instagram influencer type of content. And I have this like protective layer over my music because I love it so much that it's like I have to
It's
get
your
out of my
baby.
own way to be able to like consistently be like, oh, here it is, here it is. I'm a perfectionist. So I have a hard time just like letting the raw, unperfect things out. But I think that in doing that, people will see, the more you post, the more people you reach. And then that'll in turn help me collaborate with more people and be able to create, and just get to the next level. So that's what I'm working on now.
You know what's interesting? I feel like people have a tendency. They may not do it on purpose, but they have a tendency to put you in a box. And if they see modeling, it's like, oh, she wants to do music. Who knew? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
We
it's
don't see
definitely.
you as doing that because that's not what they see.
Yeah, exactly. And it takes a while, even with my brand and and selling clothing versus accessories. I was doing accessories for like 4 years. And then when I first started to post clothing, people were like, what's happening now? What
Yeah.
are you doing? The followers went down. People weren't buying either. I was like, wait a minute. So, but it's the consistency of being like, okay, this is what it is. You either gonna take it or you're gonna leave it. But if I'm passionate about it and I'm serious about it, consistency will tell that, you know, and then people will start messing with it and be like, okay, you know, she's serious about this. She done posted it 25 times. So, you know, maybe I should check it out now. And that's okay. And that's, you know, that's our jobs. Like if we're serious about something, we can't just expect anybody to eat it up. It's like, no, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the time. You got to let people know like, okay, this is what I'm on now. And, you know, it's a learning curve because I haven't been in the music industry for 25 years and I haven't worked with the most amazing people in the world yet. But as I build myself up and people recognize me and they're like, okay, I remember hearing this from someone else's page, da, 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 da. Oh, okay, this is a new song. Oh, I like this song. This is dope. Da, da, da. Like it takes a while. So yeah, consistency is key.
Olay, you are definitely on the right path. Much success. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.